Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Crypto City. Thank you all for taking the time to join us here tonight. I actually have a story that I'd like to share with you to start. As most of you know, a big piece of this show is my journey about learning Web3, crypto, NFTs, and utility. And I'm here to learn from our guests that we have on each week and to share experiences with all of you. Well, this past week I had kind of an interesting learning experience, and it was also quite humbling. I learn new things every day, and sometimes I feel like I'm making progress and some headway into all of this. And then other times it becomes very obvious that I still have so much to learn in this whole realm. One of our community members, he's created an interesting game here in Spatial. It's called SkyQuest, and he's offering a select test group. They would get an NFT token that was necessary to play the game, and you would receive this free NFT token from him, but it's one that actually does have value in addition to it being a token that you needed to access the game. So, he hooked us up. He gave us all a bunch of people the invite to come in, and you had to connect it to your wallet through OpenSea and receive the token. And then once you got the token, you could embark on this journey with several tasks that needed to be completed. At the end, you were going to be granted an additional NFT as the prize for finishing the tasks. So I was so excited that I was lucky enough to be one of the ones to be in the test group. I thought it was going to be super cool. I was going to get to check this all out and get to experience this with people. So I jumped in with both feet using all my experience, I'm being sarcastic there, and all my past knowledge as my guide. So I quickly sent over my OpenSea account to the creator. I was given the NFT and I transferred it right away into my wallet, and I was ready to start my adventure, which I planned on doing while I was traveling this weekend. So I leave my house. I have my laptop. I'm super excited. I'm going to be able to do this while I'm traveling. It's going to be fun. So now that I transferred everything over, I log on to Spatial and I try to access it, and it comes back saying not possible. So I'm like, all right. I tried again a couple of times, and then I'm thoroughly confused. So I reached out to the creator, and he gave me very detailed instructions on how to connect, which I emphatically felt I did correctly. Not. However, I missed one key piece of information. You had to have a MetaMask or a Solana wallet. I didn't realize that my crypto wallet, because I have a ledger, is not currently accepted by Spatial. So I had transferred my NFT token there right away, thinking I know how to transfer my token. I'm good. And then I went there to access it, and I could not access it from the Spatial app. So at that point, I'm frantically starting to Google how to transfer my NFT from one wallet to another. And, as we've talked about before, there are hot wallets and cold wallets. Both are functioning similarly in that they store your credentials and your assets. But if you're using a cold wallet, it's a physical versus a browser-based or software-based. So you typically need to connect it to your laptop or PC to access it. So although I may have been away, there may have been a way for me to transfer my token and perhaps pay some gas fees. I didn't even have my wallet with me because I was traveling. So long story short, although I was lucky enough to get the initial NFT sent to me, I didn't get to play the game or earn the final NFT prize, but I did learn some valuable lessons. Number one, read the instructions. Back to the basics here, people. And then take a moment to really understand what it is that you're doing before you embark on things that involve your assets. It doesn't mean to steer clear of them. It doesn't mean to be intimidated by them. It just means you need to think before you act. And next time I'll be far more cautious to not only follow the instructions, but to read them in detail so that I can enjoy the experience more fully. And for the record, this game is now available for the community. So you can actually go and check it out. It's called SkyQuest. You might not have access to the test group NFTs, but it's still a great way to see some amazing creativity coming from our community for everybody to enjoy. Tonight, we were supposed to have our guest, Miggy Sellis, on, and he was going to talk to us about ETH that he just went to and the updates on his gaming venture called Altera. Unfortunately, he had to reschedule. So tonight I decided, based on my little faux pas that I just had with the NFT and all of that, I thought, why not go back to basics for a little bit? And I think it would be, an effort to help everyone learn more of basics. I've gone and done some research and found some helpful websites that I think have some really valuable information in them that can kind of help those of you who are new to this, or even some of these websites have a lot of information on them for people who are not new to it and have been doing it for a while. You know, there's something to be said about Googling. And, some people look down on it and say, oh no, you shouldn't just randomly Google things and follow people because you don't know if you're getting good information or bad information. And I agree with that to a point. But if you are Googling stuff and you ask for, information on, Web3, crypto, pay attention to the links that you're clicking on. If you choose a website that is trusted, and if you go to a site that sounds familiar to you, like maybe you know who these people are, and you follow that through, you can get some valuable information. I would be a little leery of sometimes the information that you might get on blogs. It can be biased sometimes. And sometimes it could just, not be helpful. It could just be somebody out there spouting out information, based on their opinions. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube, you can get some very valuable information, but also the visuals. So when somebody's telling you how to do something, you'll see what they're clicking on. Just make sure that you do your own homework too. If you go on there and you say, oh, this guy looks like he really knows what he's doing. I've watched the videos. It makes a lot of sense. I'm following along and everything's working. Great, learn something from it. But if you get somebody on there, and you can kind of tell sometimes, you get a lot of people that go on there that they're not techie. They're kind of going on there and they're talking about their experience that they've had. So if they're telling you information and they don't seem like they're a legit source, you might want to just pay attention and do a little bit of homework and dig a little deeper and maybe find another resource as well to kind of be a second opinion. And if that one is corroborating the same information, okay, well then give it a shot. Just be careful with anything that you're doing that has to do with crypto or your wallet. Don't ever give your pass key to anyone. We've talked about this before. That is your lifeline to all your assets. You give it out to someone else, you could lose everything. So just be careful, be smart, be safe. But I did go on and find some websites that I thought were really interesting. And, I am going to, you don't feel like you have to scramble to write down this information. I'm going to post this stuff on our Discord later in the week. So if you're not currently on our Discord, you can go on Instagram, go up into the bio. There's a link tree there, and it has all the links to our socials, and it also has our Discord link there. So you can click on that, join the Discord, and there's a channel on there that says Slides from Show. And you can go there and get all this information, so you can find the websites that we're going to tell you to go to. You can see the images and stuff that we're going to put up here for you now. So don't worry about, trying to capture this information tonight. So some of the things that I've looked into to share with you tonight are basics on Web3, crypto, NFTs, and all the little accessories that kind of accompany that. MetaMask, the wallet that I was talking about earlier, that is one of the most common, most user-friendly, and most basic wallets that's out there. So I was on there looking around to try and figure out how to transfer my my NFT over, and I discovered that they had a really great educational part to their site. It's not just all about their wallet. So this is the website up here, and they actually put together some little courses for you. So their website is very user-friendly. And right now there's 8 lessons available on there. You have what is Web3, what's a crypto wallet, the era of digital identity, what is self-custody, the advent of digital ownership, NFTs and creators, finance decentralized, and the age of communities, which talks about DAOs. So the lessons that they have here are really great, as they give you an overview and some information, some text. Maybe if we want to click on the first first one there just to get a brief look at what it's like. On lesson 1, which is what is Web3, what they do is after they give you the overview and some examples, they give you a little simulation that you can kind of check it out and see what it is so you can understand it better. I think that, most people, they learn better when they see something or they actually do something instead of just having somebody, bark orders at them, tell them click here, click here. Sometimes it's a lot better when you actually get to go in and do it for yourself. So with these simulations that they've put in here, what they did was they actually have them interactive, but they're dummy. So if you click on them, nothing bad is going to happen. You're not going to be taken anywhere. They literally made these little interactive simulations for you so that you can see what it feels like to do what they're saying. It's actually really cool. And it's one of the best breakdowns that I've seen on these websites. And you don't have to have a crypto wallet right now. I know some of you probably do, but if you're looking for an easy way to get your feet wet and learn how to play with NFTs or even a little bit of cryptocurrency, MetaMask is a great starter wallet. It's also a wallet you can use forever. You don't ever have to leave it. I mentioned before that I have a cold wallet, which is a piece of hardware. A lot of people don't want that. A lot of people want it all browser-based, so they don't even have to worry about it anymore. You still need to keep your passkey safe. So we've talked about this in a couple of our episodes last season. If you have a wallet and you have your passkey, do not keep that passkey just in one place, because if something happens to it, it's gone. And that is how you access all of your assets. So sometimes people will they'll write down their passkey and laminate it and stick it in a safety deposit box. Sometimes people will write it down, fold it up into a tiny piece and stick it in the back of a piece of artwork so that it's, buried in there, but they have it if they ever need it. That it's just like in the old days when they used to say, stick your money under the mattress so that, you hide it there. Well, you just want to make sure that you have access and you don't keep it in one place. And do not put your passkey in your cell phone in an unsecured note. If you're on an iPhone, don't put it in the iPhone under notes and have your phone not secure, because anybody can get it at that, and do people, what is the risk? You think, okay, are people really going to grab my phone, go through it? But you just never know. And so better safe than sorry. Just keep your stuff secure. But MetaMask is a great way to get started. It is free, so you don't have to pay for the wallet. To be honest with you, when I found out the other day that I needed it for what I was doing, even though I already had one, I logged on, I signed up. In about 5 minutes, it was completely set up, registered. I had everything that I needed, and I was ready to transfer stuff into it. Very simple to use. So if you're not involved and you want to get involved, that's a great way to start. Show of hands, does anybody in here have a MetaMask wallet? Okay, so, that's a good way for you guys to get started if you don't currently have one. Okay, Prince. So another great resource that I found is it's a website called web3.career. Now, this is a website that is meant to help people find jobs and internships. But there's a whole section on there about learning Web3, and it's got links. And I have to say, it is not an attractive website at all. The user interface is not attractive. But if you scroll down on the page, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of hyperlinks here with all types of information on there. Again, don't let this be intimidating to you, the fact that it's ugly, because all you have to do is click on the links and it will take you out of here. There's actually one on here that, let's see, there's one that talks about blockchain. I think it's about halfway down. And let's see, right there, blockchain basics. If we click on that one, it's going to take you out of that site and take you somewhere else. So it's just ugly on that site. You can go to other places. Now, some of these links will actually bring you to places where you can take other educational lessons. I've done things on Coursera before. It's a very user-friendly, easygoing platform to learn things. Some of the other links that are on there are educational articles. There's one on there that even talks about why it's so hard to explain NFTs to people. And, that kind of it goes to the whole, people arguing over, Bitcoin people don't like NFTs, NFT people don't like Bitcoin people. Like it just goes around, and they talk about it in some of those things. So this website, it's filled with lots of good information. It'll teach you a lot of the basics. It'll also teach you a lot of advanced stuff. So if some of you who are in here are already playing around in Web3, you're already like, whether you're creating worlds and incorporating AI and you're doing a bunch of different things, that's great. There's some higher end things in there. There's advanced programming. There's some stuff about different coding that you can learn. So take some time, play around on it. One of the things I would say is that, these sites that I'm showing you, I'm sharing them, so that you can learn a little bit. But I get that these sites are mostly meant for people who are going out there to be creative developers within the Web3 environment. But by going through these sites, you can learn lessons. You can learn a lot. You can discover the terminology. You can make yourself more comfortable with things that are all Web3, whether it's NFTs, utility, all of that stuff. Just by doing a few Google searches, you can learn a lot of different things. But you can come across a lot of examples. And if you're never actually going to create anything Web3 in a platform or an app or anything along those lines, you'll at least have a little bit better understanding when you're talking to other people who are. And you'll be able to review them and have you'll be able to have an educated conversation with somebody where you can ask the right questions, because now you've actually seen a little bit, and now a lot of times your interest gets sparked when you see it and you're like, I don't really understand it, but I like it. I want to know more. And then you'll be talking with people and you'll hear them bring up one of the topics and you're like, oh, that's that thing I was reading about, or that's that thing I saw on YouTube. And then you can say, can you explain this to me? And the people who are more fully immersed in it will come along and they'll give you some more guidance. I have to be honest, I do it all the time. I go online, I find stuff, and then I go to the people that I know who are in here or in some of the other platforms, and I ask them, what does this mean? I'm trying to figure it out. I'm watching some of these, examples on YouTube. I'm watching the videos, and I just can't figure it out. Can you explain it to me? And most of the time, I have not come across anyone yet who has been like, I don't have time to do this with you. Go learn it on your own. Most people will at least give you a little bit of a description, and then they might point you in the direction for better resources. And there's nothing better than people sharing resources. We talk about it in here all the time. If any of you out here in the audience or you're watching online, if any of you have resources that you think are worth sharing, please jump on our Discord, drop them in there. There's a community share channel in there. Put the information in there, because if you found some place that helped you learn, share that with everyone else so that other people can start doing more too. And it's not a competition. It's not, oh, you know what? I don't want to share this information because I'm in here world building and I don't want everybody else world building in here, or I don't want people competing with me on the NFT stuff. There's plenty for everyone. So share your knowledge so everyone can do more. It's the best thing you can do. And that ultimately will enhance everyone's experience in here, because as we've seen just from, world hopping within any of these platforms, every world is different. Every person brings their own creativity. Everybody brings their own idea as to what they think someone else will enjoy. And, we could go world hopping. All of us in this room could go together and jump around from world to world. And you're not going to like what you like, and you're not going to like what you like, but you're going to love something that I like. And we're just going to, all have our own tastes and our own styles. So let everyone create. So there's worlds out there for everyone to enjoy. So one of the other sites that I did stumble across was XRP Ledger. And XRP Ledger is a decentralized blockchain. XRP is the cryptocurrency, and the app is developed and supported by Ledger. So I'd like to invite all of you to check out these websites. Like I said, I'm going to post them online. The information will be there. But I mean, if we can go to the last website link. Yes. So this is really good too. This is, again, this might be a little high level. They're talking about, coding on XRP Ledger, and you might be like, oh my God, I'm not ready to code. I can't do that. That's beyond me. I'm just trying to figure out, what does an NFT mean? So, but if you scroll down, there's courses at the top that it shows, and then there's course overviews down here. And see, now we get into the basics. So it's talking about the fact that you can learn to code, but it's starting you out pretty simple, like, oh, here's blockchain and crypto basics, intro to the platform, and then they're teaching you a little bit of the coding, and then it can help you build. Now, if this is something that interests you, this is not the only platform. There's so many out there. But these are ones that I felt the courses were very easy to follow along, understand. They're trying to make this better for people. I mean, I don't know about any of you, but when I went to college, for my degree was in computer science, and I took all these different lessons, and half of the stuff I learned in there was such crazy programming that I have never used again in my life. But you had to learn the basics. And now technology is so more far advanced, and the user interfaces are so much easier to share and understand that, this stuff that they're putting out here now, you can read some of these lessons, and you can actually have a feel for what it would be like to create something. So if it's something that you think when you're looking at these sites that you are interested in, try it. Why not? What have you got to lose? It's not like you've been hired at a job and you need to do this. You are doing this because you're interested and you want to grow. Now, if there's some of you in here that are already, doing some of this stuff, great. Maybe you'll come across something in here that it makes whatever you're currently doing easier, because there's a lot of, high level techs out there that share. I mean, Aussie Guy's not here tonight, but Aussie Guy, he has this website that he put together for everyone. We also share that on our Discord, that, you can go in there, and he has basically gone through all these different platforms within the metaverse. He's gone through world building using Unity. He's put together all these helpful links to help people with basics. And then he also has some high level stuff on there for the higher end developers. So, check these things out and grab as much information that you can from it. It's interesting. Is anyone in here? I mean, DJ Marcus J, I see you back there, and you're building in here. Has anybody else built some worlds in here? Not yet? Okay. So maybe that's coming up in the future. Now, DJ Marcus J is going to be our guest next week, and he has built in multiple platforms now. He started out, a bunch of us in here were all alt space, friends. We all had worlds in there. We did our thing. He kind of played around in there, and then obviously alt space went away. And out of necessity, he's learned to build and grow in the other platforms, and now he's doing things in spatial, and he's doing things over in VR chat, moving around where you need to go. And that's one of the other things too, is Unity. So Unity is a program that is essential for bringing everything into these different platforms. And I mean, as the name suggests, it brings everything together. People are using Blender to create different things. They're using all these other software packages to do the creations, and Unity brings it all together. And then you bring all your assets into the metaverse. Now, Unity is pretty intimidating the first time in. The more you play around with it, the more familiar it becomes. There are a ton of there's a ton of resources out there for learning Unity. it's a lot easier if you find somebody who knows how to use Unity to be someone that you can go to. I have asked so many questions of people who are building worlds. I'm in Unity and I can't get this one thing to happen, and it's so frustrating. And I've been Googling all afternoon, and they're like, "Oh, click here," and I'm like, "Oh God, I've been doing this for 4 hours and I couldn't figure this out." So if you talk to people, and you will definitely, it'll make your life easier if you're trying to do even something basic. Make some friends. Learn who is a good resource. There'll definitely be some people who you might not like their style, but find some people to be good resources for you. I see Meta Jackie here. How you doing? Good to see you. So um, the other thing you can do, if any of you if you don't want to go on the Discord, or you're just popping in every once in a while, but you have a little bit of interest and you want to know more, please feel free to reach out to me directly, because I would love to connect you with people that can help you. I would love to point you to resources that can help you grow and help you build or help you discover what your passion is. When we were doing things in Altspace, I didn't want a world build. That was not what I enjoyed doing, but I really liked having the ability to bring furniture into these places, or to bring artwork or digital assets into the different worlds. So I learned how to build kits and bring them in. It's a little different in the different platforms, and here it's much simpler. You can just bring things in from Sketchfab and drop them at a dime, and it's like, whoa, that's so simple. We were going in, building them in Unity and bringing them in as asset kits. So technology keeps improving. Things get better. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Blue, if you could go into where it says Explore course under Blockchain and Crypto Basics, please. Okay. So this is how they have everything broken out here. And I found it very simple. It tells you exactly how many minutes this is going to take. It gives you a percentage, and it keeps track of what you've done in the courses, which is great. So that way, you just can continue on. But when you go into each one, it's gonna record what you've done. It's gonna give you all of this information. And as you scroll down, you can see that they've actually broken it down into small pieces. So you might sit there and be like, I don't have 120 minutes. I don't have 2 hours to sit here and do this in one night. You don't have to. They've broken it down into so many little pieces. And what I would recommend is, if you listen, or if you go through one of the classes and you don't understand it, and you watch it again and you're still not getting it, take whatever that topic is and go Google it separately. And type in, this is probably a bad example, but when it says, what is a blockchain? Obviously, it's going to be blockchain basics. But if you go and you type in blockchain basics in Google, you're going to find a bunch of things. If you went into one of these other ones where it talks about what is a smart contract, which is what's built behind NFTs, and that's where you put in all your information for your NFT before you put it out there for sale. And you could read that and you could sit there and be like, all right, I kind of understand, but not really. Take whatever keywords were in it that you didn't understand and Google those. So bring it down to the most basic level to help yourself understand a little bit more. And that is something that these, all of these lessons that I put up here for you tonight, these are all things that just to give you more information. But I'm going to tell you, one of the coolest things you can do right now is go on ChatGPT and ask it questions, because you are going to get precise answers. You are going to get answers that are explained in a really great way. And I mean, I went on to it and I said, explain blockchain in layman's terms. And the information that came out of that, it was probably 4 paragraphs long, and I was like, well, that made a ton of sense compared to some of the stuff that I've gone online and I've Googled. And, they're talking more and more about AI. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have Pixel Addict on, and he's going to talk about some AI projects that he's involved in. But ChatGPT is growing fast. It's growing super fast. And they're saying that they believe that it's going to be immensely helpful in like the medical world, because they're going to be able to get information super fast on, different illnesses and treatments and different alternatives that are out there for treatments, instead of just going by the book all the time. So, the greatest thing about ChatGPT is that every single one of you has it in your hands. All you have to do is sign on, register for it, and you can have it for free. And you can ask it to do things. Now, it's also fun and entertaining too. But, there are people who are now using it for, educational resource in colleges. They're using it in workplaces as a resource to get information. So, I mean, go on there, check it out. It's free. Sign up, play with it. And when you're bored, use it for entertainment. I had it write me, I was bored and I was being silly. And I said, write me a story about a princess riding a unicorn eating cotton candy. Something really stupid. It came out with Once Upon a Time. And it gave me a fairy tale. It gave me a 6-paragraph fairy tale. I was laughing so hard because I couldn't believe how silly it was. And the story actually made sense. It was like it legit wrote me a child's book. It was hilarious. So, take time to learn some of these things on your own for fun. You don't always have to do everything because it's a project. Because if you learn it for fun, you'll actually enjoy learning it. And then if you decide you want to do your own project with it, you've already got a little bit of knowledge in your head and you're moving forward. So those are the ones that I brought on for you tonight, but there's hundreds more sites out there. Just, do some research, figure it out for yourself. Again, I can't stress enough how careful you need to be, though, with crypto. Web3, world building, development, NFTs, all that stuff. Go out there, have your fun, figure the stuff out, create things, have a good time. Crypto, be careful. I'm not anti-crypto. I own some. Just be careful what you're getting into. Make sure what you're buying is legit. Make sure when you're transferring things, you're doing it securely. Don't just play with crypto. Make sure you're following the rules and keeping yourself safe. So tonight we're going to have a little bit shorter of a session than typical. Again, we didn't have a guest tonight, but I thought it was important to bring you some information. Next week, like I said, we are going to have DJ Marcus J as our guest, so you definitely want to come out on that one. I mean, his journey starting as a DJ, becoming a world builder and an event host, he's been growing so fast and furious in VR. And, in addition to his interesting creations, he's working hard to keep the community together after the sunset of AltSpace. So, please join us next Monday at 9 p.m. And as always, if you have questions or would like to share anything, we welcome your participation. Come on our Discord, reach out to me directly. If you go on Instagram, send me a DM. I respond to everyone. So, I'm here for your resource. Thank you, everyone.